Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever it is that you're watching. It is 2 o'clock Mountain Time here on Wednesday, here in Boise, Idaho. Beautiful October day. If you follow my stories, you'd see that I had a terrific run outside and lots of autumn colors that are coming, so really fun. Today, we're going to do a little bit of a training on something that are called thought downloads. This is certainly not my specific intellectual property, but I did tweak it a bit from kind of the life coaching world, which we have a couple of life coach school trained life coaches in our Holist family. And I do love the theory of thought downloads. It's basically a tool to help you work through the metacognition kind of circumstance to action that I mention all the time, and we're going to go through again today. In the meantime, if you could do me a favor and give this a like or a love so we can bump it up on the Facebook algorithm. You know, they like to mess with us, and then currently are censoring health-related posts and information, which I don't understand and is crazy to me. But if you're dropping live, give me a live. If you're watching in a replay, drop replay. I'm Heather Hammerstedt, emergency medicine physician, double boarded in lifestyle medicine, also have a certification in integrative nutrition and health coaching. I run a team of amazing coaches, both food coaches and mindset coaches, are really helping people figure out how to rewire their brain using neuroplasticity, cognitive behavioral therapy, all sorts of those kind of techniques around your mindset around food, and eventually getting you to enjoy your food, whole unprocessed food, feel satisfied, be losing weight, and most importantly, preventing and reversing disease. So that's what we do. But today we're going to talk a little bit more about this neuroplasticity part, okay? So a thought download. If you feel stuck about something, anything, you've got to get yourself in front of your computer or a notepad, like whatever your style is, and just write for 5 to 10 minutes and asking yourself why, until you don't have any more answers. I'm going to get into that a little bit more. But what is it that I'm talking about when I talk about metacognition, and when I'm talking about neuroplasticity, and I'm talking about this circumstance to action and result? So take a look at what I'm sharing here. This is just to give you the power of what I call positive radicalization of you, of your brain, of realizing what and how much you can actually control in your life, okay? So circumstance is just the external reality situation around you. Maybe something, maybe someone, maybe a situation, right? It is what it is. You don't really get to control that circumstance in a lot of ways, but you can decide what you want to do about it. And how you do that is by realizing that your thoughts are an internal dialogue about your circumstance, okay? Those thoughts are influenced by experiences and habits and rewards and failures and things that you've had throughout your life. Oh, there's a typo there. Interesting. I've never noticed that. But you get to create your thoughts, and therefore you can change them, right? Just because you're having a thought doesn't mean that it's true, because your circumstances are different than the situations that you've been in the past, right? It doesn't mean you're going to have the same outcome. The thoughts that you have are what create your feelings, right? The emotional response to your thoughts. And oh, hi, good. Someone is saying that's exactly what she needs to hear. Awesome. So your feelings, those emotional responses to the thoughts, are also influenced by your health and experience, right? You created the thoughts, so you created the feelings. No one else gets to do that besides you. Pretty powerful, right? Actions is what you decide to do with the thoughts and feelings you've created, and the results come directly from your actions or your inactions. And that's what affects your circumstance, right? So if you have a circumstance, your actions are going to be what changes that circumstance. Does that make sense? Someone give me a yes. Sprinkled. What does that mean? I don't know what that means, Pamela. Okay, so let's think about this a little bit. So why is this so important? Let's just think about the circumstance of your weight, or let's think of the circumstance of your work. I was just coaching a client about this morning. Really tough work circumstances she has, right? Or let's talk about COVID, right? So COVID is our circumstance, right? It's an external reality for most of us, right? It's something that is out there that we cannot control. What can we control? What you think about it, and what you feel about it, and what the actions that you choose to do with it, right? So my mantra throughout the last 8 months has been, I can control my fuel, I can control my thoughts, I can control how I move my body, and I can control my inner state, right? So most of those are thoughts. Those are my thoughts. The actions that come out of them is the fact that I continue to eat well and unprocessed. I continue to move my body. I continue to be able to create my own internal reality about how I'm dealing with this circumstance. And the result that comes from that is that I have maintained my weight, still feeling great energy, still maintaining running a business and being a parent and all this stuff that I've been able to manage. Okay, so that's a good example. So now let's talk a little bit about how you can take this to positively radicalize and change the wiring of your brain around something. So let me see. Let me share this. Can you guys see this? Let me check. Yes. Okay. So how to do a thought download. Again, you can probably find this out there, specifically with the Life Coach School. She does a couple podcasts on this, which are great. Lots of people talk about this. I like to think about using the thought download to redirect and to act. So instead of being reactive, being proactive, changing the way that your brain functions around how you view your life, your community, your family, your work, COVID, all that stuff, to rewire the neurons that fire together, play together, right? And to rewire your brain to become a positively radicalized human. Okay. This is a lot for a Wednesday afternoon, but you're in my brain now. So sit down. Is it a computer? Is it pen and paper? Whatever you have to do, totally defined alone time for 10 to 15, 20 minutes, whatever it is that you can get away from your children for. You want to define the question or the issue or the problem that you're dealing with in your mind. So you say it to yourself out loud, commit to asking questions about the issue. I have a couple of videos where I talk about this in the Curate Your Health group about like why, like, how those toddlers don't ever stop asking questions. Like, this is what you need to do for yourself. Okay, so start writing without thinking or analyzing. Just write the phrases and sentences and words that come to mind when thoughts and feelings appear around this circumstance. Okay, whatever that circumstance is your circumstance, your weight, is it work, what is it, right? So the answers to the questions don't have to be sensical, right? It's just whatever comes up. So the first thing that comes to mind, write it down. Why do you think that? Write it down. What's the next thing that pops into your mind? Write it down. Why? Okay. The reason why we're doing that is because we need to get it all out. You take a break, come back to it the next day, whatever you need to do. And what you want to do now is to go, this is my kind of example, is to go through it and label each of those sentences. Is what's happening a circumstance? Is what I wrote down a thought? Is what I wrote down a feeling? Okay, that's the T's and the C's and the F's that I wrote down there. The reason why I think that this is important is because you get to take a look and say, okay, these are the actual circumstances that I can't control. This is what it is. Okay, but how many of those are really thoughts and feelings that you do have control over, right? Super inspiring, right? Because if you can look at all those things and be like, that's totally a thought, I get to change that thought, right? Is it possible like that I can put a thought in there that's going to get me a different feeling, that's going to get me a different action, that's going to get me a different result? Right? So in food, we're often talking about this. I'm going to unshare here. In food, we're often talking about this with how we are interpreting the circumstance of our weight. Okay, like, or The thought is, I worked really hard today and I deserve a bottle of wine and crunchy chips and salsa, or that donut, or a cake, or the pizza that the nursing staff brought in because they didn't give them any breaks, right? So whatever that is, can you change that thought into, you delay action, right? We talk about this all the time on these trainings. You delay the action of acting on that thought. Okay, you have the time to sit back and be like, how am I going to feel after that? Analyze it. What's the thought? I worked so hard today that now I get to choose how to stay feeling healthy and strong and getting to my goals, right? That's my thought. What's my feeling out of that? I'm feeling proud. I'm feeling strong. I'm feeling in control. What are the actions out of that? I'm not eating that food, and I'm choosing to eat the food that I know is going to get me to my goals, right? That's the result out of that. I'm going to maintain or lose the weight I'm trying to do. I'm going to be preventing and reversing disease that I know comes from processed foods. So is that helpful? Can you guys give me a thumbs up or a love so I know that you're here? Thank you. So yeah, so if this is kind of how I think about, you can improve. If you watched yesterday or 2 days ago, the Health Behavior Change Live, go back and look at that, because I talked a lot about self-efficacy. It's a combination of, self-confidence and belief that you can actually do it. So self-efficacy comes from positively radicalizing your brain so that you believe what is important to you, that you are capable of doing it, developing self-efficacy. I think this thought download is a great tool to really figure out how to start doing that for yourself. So yeah, give me some likes in the comments, ask me some questions in the comments. This is how we think here at Wholist. We are, whether we're food coaches or whether we're mindset coaches, whether you're a hypnotherapist or whether you're Brene Brown trained, whatever it is, the training of our mindset coaches and our food coaches is that we are all about us being able to get to a healthier body and mind using data, science, and this serious work around our brains. And this is more than losing weight, right? This is about, how do I choose a better career? How do I get out of bad relationships? How do I set boundaries in relationships that are not serving me? How do I treat my body and trust my body and start to understand the sensations we're getting from our body, analyzing that and making choices that are going to make us healthier when we're 60, 70, 80 years old, right? And things that we can teach our children so that they don't end up in the same situation that we're in. If this sounds great to you and you have a goal of, as an athlete, better endurance, if you have a goal of finally losing that 50 pounds or that 20 pounds that you've been losing over and over again for decades, we're your people, right? As one of my clients who just finished, she got on the phone with me and I said, well, what was unique about this? And she said, well, besides the fact that she lost 35 pounds, I found the truth. Yeah, I'm sick of all the BS misinformation out there, right? If you want to learn in a 12-week university level course around weight science, neuroplasticity, mindset around food, if you want to get to the goals where you've always had, we're here. I have a team of people who are my strategy coaches, that their job is to get on the phone with you and figure out where you're stuck and where your next steps could be. If it's with us, that's awesome. If it's something else that you need, we're more than happy to send you tons of free trainings or whatever it is that we think that you need on that call. So I'm going to drop a link to our calendar below here that you can hop on and schedule that call, or you can just, if you want to do that privately, just message me. Or if you want to just say action, we can hop into Messenger and just start talking to you on Messenger if a call seems like too much right now. Cool. Was that good, guys? Was that helpful? Let me know. Awesome. We will see you soon.